like, share, subscribe. Shouts out to the Lions Den community. And don't y'all forget to subscribe to the podcast show. Link will be pinned in the top of the chat.
Just name the channel who can bang with us. I'll prove that you are smoking dust. GTV Media is top notch in this game, y'all. You failures only have yourself to blame, y'all. Ticket TV and a weapons make you suckers cry. Why don't you close your channel, crawl into a hole and die? Shout out to those who love our movement, no, we'll never flop until you get your mouth off LGBT. We are the underground outfit, y'all. We built this whole thing by ourselves, no in y'all. Independence start with self-preservation. If you can't take care of self, then how can you build a nation, y'all? Yup, we got that merch for the ladies and yes, we even got that merch for the babies and we got appliances and everything that you will need. We got some banging songs that make anemic haters bleed.
All right, you guys, so it's your boy Ticket back with y'all with another one, man. Man, if you guys are not subscribed, take a second, hit that subscribe button. You will see a bell come up. Hit that bell. You will see an all button come up. Hit that all button. That way y'all get all the updates when I release video content on this channel, man. I want to say one quick thing before I get into this video. I did a video before this morning on the R. Kelly situation. Listen, I put the link to the actual article, to the actual, I should say, news report at the top of the comment section. So don't come in the comment section saying that I'm saying this. I'm telling you what's on the news today. So if I bring you something in here, I leave you guys the link of where I put it from, or I put it on the screen so y'all can see when it is, where it is, how it is. You don't want to get mad at somebody, go get mad at whoever put out the report, because I'm going to report the news. You don't like it, leave. Hey, ain't nobody force you to hold your hand to be in here. I press 2 if y'all can hear me, man. Let me get a mic check real quick, man. Salute everybody in the building, man. My bad, y'all had to clean up the daily trash that keeps running around here for some reason, acting like somebody gonna snatch them up by the back of their neck and force them to come to my channel and listen to my content. If you don't like my content, step. Point blank, period. Nobody got to play no games with you. Shout out to Coconut, Shay, HB4, Nathan, Smurf, AM, Kyra, Sean, Shot, Ronnie, Daisy, Q, Till Dog, Andrew, Mardizzle, Ronnie, Tina, Shannon, Kamaya, Destiny, Jonathan, Shannon, Game Media, Detroit Player, Real, Oz, Connie, Rose, DJ 7 for Life. Okay, I see y'all. Y'all can hear me? All right, man, let's get to it, man. Bro, Diddy asked for and Diddy shall receive. Or should I say his lawyers? Diddy's lawyers last night basically came up with a writing. Basically, they were upset about the situation that had went down with Diddy. They had demanded an emergency hearing because there was a raid conducted. Also, there was evidence collected against Diddy as far as his phone records, phone conversations, text messages, emails, and other things he had illegally sent from the jail. And so his lawyers wanted to know, because they had falsely accused the government once again of seizing Diddy's personal legal items, which was an absolute goddamn lie, as there was a writing and an actual formal notice put out last night to show that, first of all, the raid was conducted or was scheduled before Diddy even got arrested. They showed that, they proved that with the report last night. They also proved that Diddy is a lying, capping ass dude who was breaking all the jail rules, using three-way, had his lawyers on three-way, making three-way illegal calls and contacting contacts that weren't even supposed to be contacted against, according to the report that the government put out. They have all this on evidence. And they ran up in this dude's cell and actually took photographs and have evidence of notes that he wrote that were outside of his legal notes that he had in there, basically detailing how he reportedly paid Big Nose, aka the witness number 2, aka the girl from Dirty Money, for changing her testimony. You know what I'm saying? But now his lawyers came out and they demanded a emergency hearing because they say that this is very, very, very much of a big situation, a big problem that's going on in his situation. So not only did they do that, let me tell you what else his lawyers did. And I ain't even gonna put that report on the screen. I'm just gonna put the one on the screen. Diddy's lawyers have also come out and demanded that whenever he's in court, that they take those shackles off of their client. They said when our client's in court, you take those shackles off of him because it has a certain look to him when he goes in the courtroom and he looks like he's a guilty man going in the courtroom with the shackles on. So we ask your honor that you guys take those shackles off Diddy when he's in court and sitting in court. They said he looked like he was guilty or something of the sort. I got the paperwork. I just didn't feel like putting it on the screen because it's easy to cook any and everybody that keep coming here questioning what I'm saying. But now, according to the reports, the judge has given Diddy what he wants. Since Diddy wants an emergency hearing and he wants to see the evidence in his face, well, the judge says, well, I'm going to give you your emergency hearing. Now, this hearing is going to happen, I think, either today or tomorrow because Diddy has a bail hearing on Friday. But I think that the problem for Diddy is that if he has this hearing today, he might not even need the hearing on Friday because they're going to lock his ass up for longer. So now he's going to get the actual emergency hearing that he wants to see all the evidence that they collected against his crazy ass up there in the MDC penitentiary. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me, in the NDC, in the Metropolitan Detention Center. Excuse me, I shouldn't say penitentiary. The Metropolitan Detention Center jail up there. So it says P. Diddy judge has called an emergency hearing after the cops raid his NYC jail cell taking confidential material. The judge in charge of Sean Diddy Combs' case plans to call an emergency hearing after his jail cell was raided. Diddy was charged with racketeering and sex trafficking. Now, this article goes on to say, it says that the judge in charge of Sean Diddy Combs' case plans to call an emergency hearing after the disgraced mogul cell was raided. Diddy was arrested in September and charged with racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution. It said he has denied all the allegations and pled not guilty and is currently awaiting trial on May the 5th, 2025. Now, while being held in the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, New York, according to Newsweek, the judge in charge of the case will be holding a hearing in court in New York at his request today. So, excuse me, y'all. Diddy's getting this hearing today. We're gonna be live for this hearing. Diddy's getting a hearing today. It says this request, the defense, they're getting a hearing today, not tomorrow. We get to get this shit today. So it says that on Friday, November the 15th, prosecutors accused Combs of concealing conversations from jail and organizing social media operations to taint potential jurors and leak information that could benefit his case. They also claim that he has approached witnesses through third parties. It says it was then reported that Diddy's attorneys claimed that his jail cell was raided. In a letter to the judge obtained by the Mirror, Mark Anglifo alleged that the prosecutors and U.S. attorney's office were in possession of attorney-client privileged materials pertaining to the case, including the defendant's own written notes, which are concerning defense witnesses and defense strategies. He further added that this search and seize are in violation of Mr. Combs' 4th, 5th, and 6th Amendment rights. Anglifo further claimed that the raid was an outrageous government conduct amounting to a substantive due process violation. The letter also noted that the prosecutors conceded that they had held possibly privileged materials such as notes recovered from the defendant's cell. Anglifo urged the court to hold the emergency evidence hearing in the case, calling it emergent. The defense intends to seek details concerning the claimed incident, such as who authorized the search of Mr. Combs' sleeping area, personal effects, and paperwork, and how they allegedly determined which documents to obtain. They are requesting that the U.S. Attorney's Office specify which materials were allegedly seized. There is a bail hearing planned for Friday, but the defense has demanded that an immediate hearing in which prosecutors want to know who approved the search of Diddy's cell. The Mirror has reached out to Mark Anglifo for comment, but last night, in the late hours of the night, before y'all was about to go to sleep, or when some of y'all was already night-night, the government clapped back for their mental anguish, and they told that according to the jail rules, they don't have to show the diddler a damn thing. They don't have to prove to the diddler a god daggone thing. Is what the government came back and slapped back at with last night. Now, Diddy is going to get his day in court today so that they can see the evidence and find out who on God's green earth allowed this raid to happen. But this paperwork that your boy got from last night, and holla at your boy, come hopping in Impala with your boy. I got this paperwork last night, and this paperwork is kicking P. Diddy's draws right up the crack of his you know what. Now, this paperwork last night, late last night, as I told y'all, it says, and it laid out how the government went and ran down on Mr. P. Diddy, run the city, show no pity. Now, according to this article, it says, and I quote, and they showed receipts that the jail-wide search and raid was already scheduled before Diddy was even arrested. And they showed the link to the article where it announced the raid would happen before Diddy was arrested. So that's cap number one on Diddy's legal team. Cap number two is they have shown that they were already monitoring Diddy's phone calls. And I'm just gonna, just for the hell of it, for the smell of it, I'm gonna read this to y'all once again this morning for the deaf, dumb, blind, and hearing impaired, so that you guys can respect my gangster when I say what I say on this channel. Dear Judge, the government respectfully submits this letter in connection with Diddy's letter dated yesterday, November the 18th, 2024. And in response to the court's order issued earlier today, for the reasons that follow, the relief requested by Diddy, including an evidentiary hearing, are unnecessary. Background: on or about September the 16th, 2024, Diddy was arrested. The following day, the above referenced indictment was unsealed and Diddy was presented arraigned before the Honorable Judge Robin F. Tarfmowski, United States Magistrate Judge. As a part of that proceeding, the government moved for detention under the Bail Reform Act, finding that there was no condition or combination of conditions that would assure the safety of the community. Judge Tarfmowski denied Diddy bail. The following day, Honorable Andrew L. Carter, Pop Your Collar, Bomb Harder, I added that part in, heard the defendant Diddy's bail appeal, and after a lengthy hearing, the Honorable Andrew L. Carter determined that the government had proven by clear and convincing evidence, not lies, not cap, not innuendo, not YouTube talk, not jabronis, not peons, not a blemish on the butt of the rock's buttocks, but evidence that P. Diddy, run the city, show no pity, was in a danger to the community and a risk of obstruction. The defendant's communications. Since being ordered detained, Diddy has been held at the Metropolitan Detention Center, Brooklyn, a bureau of prisons BOP. You down with BOP? Yeah, you know me. You down with BOP? Yeah, you know me. We down with BOP? Yeah, you know me. Who down with BOP? Puff Daddy. Now let's get it. With respect to the inmate communications, all BOP inmates, including the diddler, are afforded the opportunity to confer with attorneys on unmonitored phone lines. Other communications occur over BOP monitored phone lines and email as a part of its general practice to screen monitored communications for, and let's go to the next paragraph because we're going to have a read along today, for content that could jeopardize the public safety, security, or orderly operation of the facility. You can go see www.bop.gov/inmates/communications.jsp. BOP staff, including a particular BOP investigator, they will call him, for this instance, investigator number 1, has consistently, not part-time, not private time, not sometimes, not a little bit at a time, but consistently monitored Diddy's communications on monitored communication channels, including monitored phone lines. The monitoring is independent. That means separate for you who don't know. Of the case team, i.e., the Assistant United States Attorneys charged with the investigation and prosecution of Diddy, and is not done, and is not done, and is not done at its discretion or direction, as set out in the government's November the 15th, 2024 brief, and made clear on the record during previous bail hearings. The government's grand jury investigation of Diddy, including Diddy's obstruction related to this criminal case, is continuing. No. I thought I told you that we won't stop. I thought I told you that we won't stop. Oh, well, what? No. They didn't say it stopped. They say it's continuing. The defendant's obstruction related to this criminal case is continuing. As a part of the investigation, the government has sent grand jury subpoenas and document requests to the BOP for Diddy's monitored communications, including his calls and emails. From those materials, the government has learned that Diddy has persisted in engaging in obstructive conduct since he entered the BOP custody. Among other things, Diddy has engaged in unauthorized communication practices, including, number 1, three-way calling on a monitored phone line. Now, what type of dummy is calling people three-way when you know the phone call is being recorded, but you think you're getting away with it because you're using another dude's BOP number? Make it make sense. Or another dude's PAC number. Make it make sense. So they were saying that Diddy was using another inmate's PAC number. They said Diddy used 8 inmates' PAC numbers and was making three-way calls on the PAC numbers. Had people calling in three-way that weren't even authorized, thinking that because he's using somebody else's number, they weren't going to be monitoring that. Come on, man. We can't praise stupidity. Second, use of other inmates' phone access code or PAC numbers to make phone calls on the monitored phone line. You know how they know that? You know how they know? Because they interviewed, not only did they hear Diddy on the calls, not only did they hear Diddy's representatives on the calls, not only did they see the third parties on the calls, but you know what else they did? They interviewed the inmates. Let's keep going. And number three, use of a third party text messaging provider through the BOP's monitored email system. This man was emailing people, texting people through a monitored BOP email system. He was using a third party text messaging provider, and they caught his ass red-handed. Each of these methods of communication is prohibited by the BOP. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, anybody got any kind of common sense in America knows that right there is warrant of a search anyways. You get caught doing that, they're going to search your stuff anyways. So today, when they go in court today, they're going to show the evidence and play the recorded calls and why they were justified, period, to go into Diddy's cell. Because they have this Negro on tape and they have all the messages. So Diddy's lawyers want the whole world to see it. You're going to see it. Furthermore, as set out in the government's November the 15th, 2024 brief, Diddy used these unauthorized methods of communication to continue to engage in obstruction, including by instructing third parties to reach out to witnesses, aka Big Nose, in attempting to influence the jury pool in this criminal case. The defendant has used all three aforementioned methods of communications. Shout out to Kimberly with the new membership. Salute to you, baby. Appreciate you getting new membership. You know what it is. We over here, you rocking with the absolute best. Accordingly, although it is clear to all parties involved, all parties, so Diddy, his dumbass lawyers, his delusional ass supporters, the government, and everybody else who got common sense knows that the jail calls and emails are monitored. In an abundance of caution, the government sent any potentially privileged communication, i.e., any communication involving an attorney, to the filter team before it was released to the case team. That's the people that's involved in Diddy's case. So they legally did what they were supposed to do. But Diddy's lawyers out here lying to y'all, trying to fuck up the public opinion. It's not going to work. As is the government's longstanding practice in ongoing covert investigations, such as the investigation into Diddy's obstructive conduct in the detention center, the government did not disclose potentially privileged communications to Diddy's legal in the first instance. You know why? Because, like I told y'all, this is what the feds do to you. They let these dummies build a bigger case. The feds could have went and got Diddy the very first time. But you know what the feds did? They do what they always do, which is why I be trying to tell these Negroes on YouTube. They think, oh, the feds got Diddy, Diddy got a shot. That nigga ain't got, it's like Vince McMahon, he got no chance in hell. Why you think the feds got 99% conviction rate, man? You think they playing, bro? You think this is going to be Care Bears or the cartoons where Diddy beats that 0.1%? Man, nigga gone, nigga. It's a wrap. Adios. Sayonara. Arrivederci. His ass out of here, nigga. It says, as stated in the government's opposition to the defendant's bail motion, the government intends, think about this. Now, this is why Diddy's lawyers are shitting bricks. This was last night. The government intends to produce all of Diddy's calls and emails in full to his lawyers today. Loving you is easy come. You're beautiful. Doo 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 doo. Ladies and gentlemen, Sean Puffy Combs has left the building. Sweep of the MDC in or around October the 28th, right? Because I come with facts. I keep receipts. You know what I'm saying? I come with facts. I'm like Deion Sanders. I keep receipts, baby. You know what I'm saying? In or around October the 28th, we're in the last paragraph for y'all who don't know. In 2024, the BOP and several other federal and local agencies initiated a sweep of the MDC. The sweep was pre-planned and coordinated to ensure the safety and security of staff and inmates at the MDC. And it was a part of a larger safety and security initiative and not in response to any particular threat or intelligence. And they say you can see their evidence, and they put the link right there for y'all. Y'all can take y'all cap and ass with your cap and ass, right, and click. You can go right to that link and see that they had already announced this before dumbass Diddy was locked up. So his dumbass lawyers, capping ass, trying to figure out, they targeted him. No, nigga, they had the raid already set up before y'all was even locked up. And they put the link up there to the article. You can go right to www.bop.gov/resources/news/PDFs S/20241101 dash press dash release dash PDF or dot PDF. My bad. It says the MDC sweep included the jail and the warehouse where the MDC food and other property are stored. It was planned well in advance of Diddy's arrest and was not conducted to target any particular inmate, including Diddy. During the MDC sweep, multiple housing units were searched, including Diddy's unit. Although members of the case team were aware in advance that Diddy's housing unit would be searched, in addition to other areas of the jail, no one on the case team supervised, conducted, or participated in the search of any housing unit, nor the search of the defendant's bunk area. And you know how they're going to prove this? Diddy's living in an open bunk. They have cameras. They're going to take those cameras to the court today and show the judge the entire raid to prove exactly what was confiscated and how the investigation and raid went on Diddy's bunk. His lawyers are going to get destroyed and embarrassed again. In fact, the case team was not aware in advance of what agents and officers were conducting the search of that housing area. Investigator 1 was assigned by the BOP to participate in the week-long sweep and was present at the MDC during the operations. During the sweep of Diddy's housing unit, Investigator 1 interviewed multiple inmates. Let me read this again. During the sweep of Diddy's housing unit, Investigator 1 interviewed multiple inmates, including Diddy, about potential corruption and contraband at the MDC jail. Following Investigator 1's interview of Diddy, Investigator 1 approached Diddy's assigned bunk to check for contraband. On Diddy's bunk, Investigator 1 found the following items. Number 1, a manila folder marked, quote unquote, legal. Number 2, a notebook labeled And you'll learn that in court today. Number 3, an address book. And number 4, personal effects. Investigator 1 felt the outside of the manila folder marked legal for contraband, and feeling none, set it aside and did not open or photograph it. With respect to the notebook labeled blank and the address book, Investigator 1 took photos of these materials. Investigator 1 left the materials on Diddy's assigned bunk. No physical materials were seized from Diddy. His lawyer's lying, like they always been doing. Following the MDC sweep, Investigator 1 alerted the case team that he had taken photos of Diddy's blank notebook and address book, known as the photographs. Investigator 1 described the blank notebook as largely notes to self, written by the defendant, that included notes regarding blank. In an abundance of caution, the case team asked Investigator 1 to provide the photographs directly to the filter team, given the possibility that they touched on legal strategy. Following review, the filter team provided certain of the photographs to the case team, including photographs containing redactions. Number 1, the government's November the 15th briefly mistakenly described MDC sweep as nationwide. This was an error. The sweep of the MDC included BOP officers and agents from around the nation, but the sweep was focused on the MDC and facilities used by the MDC, e.g., the MDC warehouse. Number 2, for reference, the government is including its exhibits photographs of the notebook labeled Things to Do. That's what Diddy's name of the notebook was. Things to do. Things I got to do. It wasn't the legal where he had his legal notes. See, if Diddy was smart, he would have put his things to do notes inside of the legal so they couldn't look inside of that. But Diddy ain't got no mind. He put it in the things to do notebook and the address book as Exhibit A, which contained redactions per the filter team review. This is the full set of material from the BOP sweep that was provided to the case team. This exhibit is being filed under seal pursuant to the protective order governing discovery in this case. Let's keep cooking. The instant motion. Y'all smash the like button. We should have well over 2,000 likes easy. On November the 8th, 2024, Diddy submitted a renewed motion for bail in front of your honor. In the government's response filed on November the 15th, 2024, the government argued, among other things, that the court should deny Diddy's motion to reopen the bail hearing since he had failed to present any new material information. In addition, the government argued that Diddy was actively continuing his efforts to obstruct justice while in custody, including by, among other things, attempting to influence witness testimony, aka Big Nose. In support, the government cited excerpts of portions of the photographs that discussed the defendant paying a potential witness, aka Big Nose, and blank on other potential victims and witnesses which have been provided to the government after review by the government's filter team. You know what that blank out is? Take a guess of what that part is blanked out that Diddy said, that they said that Diddy wrote in his notes. This dummy wrote in his notes, they said. that this what he gonna do to the other potential victims and witnesses. Look right there. Diddy's lawyers, they want the evidentiary hearing. They're gonna get all this today. When they unlock them notes and you see what this man wrote, right? So they already have him writing about paying the potential witness, Big Nose, and blanking on other potential victims and witnesses which have been provided to the government after review by the government's filter team. Both excerpts are consistent with the other evidence discussed in the government's submission. Right? Right? And to the person who says they did not F up, sorry, you're wrong, sir. Because Diddy legally has to have those in his legal notes. He didn't have those in his legal notes. He had those elsewhere. So, you're wrong. Try again. And that will get rejected in court today, sir. That bullshit will get rejected in court today. And you will see when they Dikembe Mutombo, RIP to the legend, that shit in court today. You're wrong. So it says, right? On November the 18th, 2024, y'all, it says defense counsel submitted a letter, motion to the court arguing that the government was in possession of attorney-client privilege material, namely portions of photographs which reflected the defendant's notes, which it argued were privileged notes to his lawyers concerning defense witnesses and defense strategies. The defense also argued that the government had engaged in a targeted seizure of Diddy's materials. At one, which it argued amounted to a violation of Diddy's constitutional rights. The defense therefore requested that the court hold a hearing to assess, among other things, who authorized a search of Mr. Combs' cell, determine which materials should be seized, and provided the materials to the government. Discussed herein, there was no targeted seize of Diddy in the BOP sweep, resulting in the government's obtaining the photographs was not unconstitutional or improper. Next to that, jabroni in the comment section. Relevant law. This is what you Negroes got to understand. The law. In accordance to the BOP policy. Now look at this, Janet Jackass. That's to you in the room, said that dumbass comment I put you on the screen. In accordance to the BOP policy, that's the jail policy, right? It says staff may search an inmate's housing in work area and personal items contained within those areas without notice to or prior approval from the inmate and without the inmate's presence. Dummy. BOP statement 552.14 on your helmet, sucker. This is consistent with the law. The hell is wrong with you, man? Which states that an inmate's reasonable expectation of privacy is extraordinarily circumscribed because his interest in privacy must be balanced against the interests of society and the security of its penal institutions. You done, fool. See U.S. versus Gonzalez, 2000 WL 1721171 at 2 SDNY November 17th, year 2000, or you can quote Hudson versus Palmer, 468 U.S. 517527, 1984. Although pretrial detainees like Diddy retain some Fourth Amendment protections, that does not mean that these rights are not subject to restrictions and limitations, boy. Shut your stupid ass up. Indeed, even when a prison regulation impinges on inmates' constitutional rights, the regulation is valid if it is reasonably related to legitimate penological interest. Accordingly, although pretrial detainees may have some residual privacy interests that are protected by the Fourth Amendment, courts must weigh those interests against the requirements of the preservation of institutional security and order. You want me to keep cooking your ass? It's easy for me to cook you three the hard way. You easy work. A caveman can do this, brother. But guess what? I got two more for you, sucker. I got two. Now, can you dig this, sucker? I got two more for you. Now, let's cook. When potentially privileged materials are obtained by the government, the use of a filter team is common procedure in this district and has been deemed adequate in numerous cases to protect attorney-client communications. The government established an effective firewall to protect or prevent disclosures to the government's trial attorneys of trial strategies or confidential communications between the defendants and their attorneys. Moreover, even if there was an inadvertent disclosure of privileged material to the prosecution team, that alone does not suggest that a defendant's constitutional rights were violated or that a defendant is entitled to relief. This after the fact notice of potentially privileged documents did not render the government's earlier search unreasonable. The government's review need only be reasonable, not perfect. Janet Jackass. That's the law. That's the law. Discussion. First, the fact that the photographs were taken were entirely proper. Shout out to Lady JJ with the membership. Y'all racking up the memberships now. Y'all see it's worth it right here. The way I cook, Reverend Leon Lonnie Love. Sister Gina? Oh, Sister Gina. Let me pray for you, Sister Gina. Let me lay my hands on your perky, succulent little down, Satan. Down, Satan. I rebuke you. Sister Gina. Pass the collection plate around the church and let everybody see. The Reverend Leon Lonnie Love Church of the Beelzebub. First, the fact that the photographs were taken was entirely proper. They were taken during a pre-planned sweep of the MDC, which was organized, initiated, and executed by BOP staff with the assistance of multiple federal and local partners for the purpose of the safety and security of inmates and staff, and to address persistent issues that have arisen at the MDC, including issues that Diddy himself complains of. Ether his ass. They said, dog, we doing this sweep because you in here complaining about stuff. You in here complaining about the food, complaining about this. That's why we did the sweep anyways. We been was going to do it, but we doing it because stuff you've been complaining about. Given that this major law enforcement operation was planned well in advance of Diddy's arrest, there can be no credible argument that the MDC sweep itself was meant to target the diddler. Holding that evidence recovered during a search of a pretrial inmate cell when it was initiated by prosecutors and not by prison officials for security reasons could be challenged for violation of the Fourth Amendment. Indeed, no member of the case team conducted or was present during the search and only learned about the photographs once the search was complete. And there is no evidence to support Diddy's weak ass suggestion, I added ass in there, that the investigator ones taking photographs of his notes was a targeted seizure. Nor is there anything improper about Investigator 1 taking the photographs. Investigator 1, who had reviewed Diddy's calls and emails in which Diddy overtly and persistently engaged in conduct that violated the BOP jail rules and regulations, was entirely justified in inspecting Diddy's assigned bunk to recover additional evidence related to those violations to ensure the security of the BOP facility. You know what that means, y'all? That means today, since Diddy's dumbass lawyers want to see the evidence, they're going to hear their client breaking jail rules. They're going to see the text messages, hundreds of text messages of him breaking the jail rules, which by off top gave the jail any kind of leeway they needed to go search this dude. And I told y'all, in jail, they could have got him the first time. They said, no, we ain't gonna get him the first time. They do what the feds do. The feds let you build a case against yourself. So they let Diddy do all of this obstruction from the days he became in the jail up until now. And now they finally came out and exposed his ass because his dumbass lawyers out here talking trash. So they had already been investigating Diddy, and Diddy was probably saying more and more as time went by because he thought he was getting away with it. So that's why they let him just keep talking all that shit he was talking on the phone. Keep talking all the stuff he was talking to witnesses. Keep putting all those text messages out. That way, they had so much stuff that when they come back to the judge and say, Judge, look at all this. And what they was going to do is, I'm going to tell you what Diddy's lawyer or what the prosecution was going to do. This is what they was going to do until Diddy's dumbass lawyers came out and made the mistake of running their mouth. What they was going to do is they were going to let Diddy just keep doing dumb shit. They were going to keep a file on this fool of all that evidence. This is what they were going to do. I'm telling y'all what they were going to do against this fool. They were going to keep a file on Diddy of all his phone calls, all his third-party phone calls, all his uses on the burner texts, all of the analytic stuff, everything he told his kids to do, directed them to do to the witnesses and all these other people. To the stuff he paid up, they were going to act like none of this stuff happened until his sorry ass went to court. And then when he went to court, they were going to crack the whip on his ass with all this evidence. Straight like that. They were gonna do Diddy something dirty when he went to court. Because they were going to get his lawyers dirty. They were going to make his lawyer, because his lawyers are on the tapes. His lawyers are on the tapes doing third-party calls. That's illegal, and they know it, and they still were doing it, according to the government. And they got the tapes. And Diddy's lawyers admitted that they had the evidence, but they wanted to know how they got the evidence. Because what Diddy's lawyers want to try to do is they want to try to make it seem like they confiscated this stuff illegally so they could have the evidence thrown out. Not gonna happen, buddy. Because they crossed their eyes and they dotted their eyes and they crossed their T's, baby. And you think they searched Diddy's bunk area without a video camera present? Nope. They had a camera present that whole time. Straight up. They had a video camera present that entire time. So now, when Diddy goes to court today, I will be live for that. What is he going to say? When they go to court today and they show all these recordings with this nigga and they show all those messages with him instructing on what to do with these witnesses and victims that was coming against him. What are they going to do when they got this dumbass Negro on tape today talking shop, putting third-party people that wasn't even supposed to be on there? And guess what? We might hear from other people on the outside that Diddy was talking to that were unauthorized on his call list. Now, let me explain that to y'all. The reason why some people, when you go to jail, Diddy has to give them the names, phone numbers, email addresses, and information of people that he gets approved on his call list. Those are the only people that Diddy has privilege to call, right? I want y'all to understand this, right? He doesn't have privilege to call anybody else outside of the people that are on his call list, right? Diddy was talking with people outside of his call list. Guess what's going to happen? The feds were monitoring all those calls. So now, if you were talking with Diddy outside of his call list, you have now been under investigation by the feds and don't even know it because now they have you on the phone. Duh. But since you Negroes thought that Diddy was talking on a burner and that nobody was listening, you're done, son. You're done. Y'all asses is going down with him. You and this damn fool Diddy. Didn't I tell y'all this? He has no brains. No brains. But y'all gonna learn today. Because since they want to see the evidence and they're getting this emergency hearing today, the whole world gonna see this, Craig. And when you hear him on the phones, I don't want to hear no excuses after y'all hear Diddy talking shop on the phones. Because they had him recorded, man. Now, they said they interviewed the inmates. Who in the hell you think gave Diddy those bad phones? I told y'all this. Diddy had a cell phone too, because they said he was sending text messages through a third-party app. You don't trust anybody while you're locked up before your case at all. You go to jail, your trial date haven't come up, man, you don't talk to nobody. Damn it, you don't even write shit down in there. This is where it gets psychological. Everything has to be remembered in your brain. We not writing nothing down. Everything is written and burnt in our brains. So Diddy even writing down that information is pure idiocy. Why would you write down that you're going to pay Big Nose? Like what? Make it make sense. Then you know what the Fed's going to do. The Fed's already ran down on Big Nose. This is what the Fed's going to do to Big Nose. They've already done this to Big Nose probably. That's why Big Nose ain't said one word. You ain't heard Big Nose go back on her social media no more. So Feds ran down on Big Nose probably, checked all the avenues that she could have got a payment on, saw if she received any payment and made any. They probably checked all her records as far as her bank record, all this stuff. Money record, see anything she was moving. Anything new she was buying, big out of the way, this, that, and the third. She was down on money. If she was, they looking. So I'm telling y'all this right now. Then what they're going to do is they're going to give Big Nose an option. They're going to say, Big Nose, you can either go down with him or you can testify against him. What you think Big Nose going to do? You think Big Nose, they're going to tell her you can either get down or you going to lay down. She going to say, get down. I'm telling y'all this. You're going to see. Right? Then the feds are going to go to all those other people that Diddy talked to on those phone calls. Since they got blown up now. And the feds, they were going to let Diddy keep talking because they wanted to hear how much that this fool could incriminate himself on the phone. So they're gonna let him keep talking on the phones. They was not gonna come down with this until Diddy's lawyers came out running their mouth. They were gonna, I guarantee you the feds are gonna, bro, I told y'all this. Bro, the feds are crazy, bro. They will send undercovers to you and have them doing transactions with you for years before they arrest you. And you won't even know it's a federal agent. It's some real In Too Deep movie type shit. He said, Jay Reed, you ain't no cop, right? I'm telling y'all, the feds are they are diabolical. The feds will have a inside man, a mole, do deals with you for years. They can go pop you anytime they want. They can go get you tomorrow if they want, just off the one little, but that ain't what they want. They want to see how high this thing can go, how much information they can get, how comfortable you can get. So with Diddy, all they were going to do is let this dummy keep talking all over them jail phones, keep using them text messages, third parties. They were going to let all that information add up to see how much more information they could get through this dummy. But since Diddy's lawyers and them came down with all this stuff, now they had to go ahead and shut down the operation and reveal everything that they have, which is already more than enough to show that he was still tampering with witnesses, which means they're going to show that in court in this case. Nobody's going to ever believe Diddy now. Once they play those tapes, he's done. This fool thought because he used somebody else's pack number and called people three-way, they wasn't listening. Come on, bro. What are we talking about, man? Let's cut the cap. Let's cut the cap. I already knew Diddy didn't have no common sense when he did what he did to Cassie in a hotel hall that's being recorded by CC cameras. You beat the girl in the hall and then sat in the hall chair. Threw vases at her, all kind of stuff. I already knew he was a damn fool. To do that on tape? And people acting like all these other people is lying on this man? Man, come on, man. Y'all need to be questioning Diddy's credibility as a man. He the only one that's been proven that he's lying so far from the tape. Because he said he didn't do any of that. As soon as that tape dropped, now he was on something. Now he wished the tape never came out. He felt, but yeah, he wished that tape never came out so he could keep demonizing Cassie. So he can keep demonizing. Think about this. I'm going to say this one more time on my channel. If that tape never came out from Cassie, everybody in the black community would have still been backing Diddy. They'd talked about Cassie like a dog. She'd have got dragged like a dog again. And y'all wonder why people scared to say something. Everybody say, why y'all ain't say nothing? Bro, if the Diddy tape never would have came out, nobody would have believed Cassie, bro. Think about this. If that tape would have never came out, nobody would have believed. They'd have still been dragging these ladies. And y'all wonder why people don't never come out and say, hey, man, why y'all ain't come out for 30 years, man? It don't make no sense. This is why. Because when people do come out, don't nobody believe their ass. Do that mean everybody telling the truth? No. But it hurts the people who are telling the truth. People was going to ride with Diddy based off his celebrity anyways. If Diddy was a shit stain, nobody would care about him. If he was an average, everyday Tom, Dick, and Harry, nobody care about Diddy. But I'm just telling y'all, it's principalities to this shit, man. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to tell y'all, y'all better strap up. And then they don't mess around and made Tony Busby mad. Yo, we should have over 2,000 likes. How we got less than 1,000? Tony Busby already filed that lawsuit. Watch, he filed that lawsuit. He gonna name that celebrity's name, and that is what's gonna get the ball rolling. Because that's gonna boom, then they blow up. Spend the whole rest of your life stacking dough up, right? Now made Tony Busby mad. Tony Busby said, "All right, cool. I'm finna file your lawsuit now. Put your name in that shit." Now it's finna get real ugly. Pandora's box gonna open. Epstein, Weinstein, You hear certain things about the other dude, the Hugh Hefner. Oh yeah, this smoke is everlasting. Everlasting. So again, how can any man live with himself when these type of allegations against young ones is coming out? Let's just forget the Cassie tape. Forget that. One lawyer got 25 young ones coming out. They showed a video. I saw a video yesterday that came out about a month ago that was rehashed of Diddy telling a 12-year-old, "Hey, you coming to the after party?" What? Are you serious? After party. Man. And y'all asked me, did I hear about the other girl? Yeah, I heard about her. I heard about her. And what she's saying, Lord Jesus, help us all, man. I'm just telling y'all, man. This shit finna get ugly, man. It's finna get ugly. And to the person who says that presidential guy's name in the comment section, that one girl said that they were all present. Not just one of them. Not just one side. Not just the D's or the R's. That girl said they were all there together. And she named names. And when I say she named all of them, she named all of them. But I love to see if that goes somewhere, if people gonna keep that same energy. Bet you they won't. That fanboyism gonna come out real quick. Right? Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So they better hope it don't go down for real, for real. Because I think it is. Because it's all gonna be in P. Diddy's hands. He holding a lot, y'all. He holding a lot. He holding a lot. It's a lot riding on Diddy. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Diddy should have been cautious when they let him go to a dorm. You Puff. You supposed to be in isolation. But they let you go to a dorm with other inmates before your trial. And you got this type of trial going on. And they were already saying that they're in fear. Man, listen, bro. If you don't know, now you know. And then the last thing I'm gonna tell y'all is the dude today on the news. And I said that this morning in the video I did this morning. The guy today on the news, right? This man on the news today, on News Nation, he was locked up. Some of you guys may have heard of him before, but he was locked up before. He claims that Diddy allegedly is hollering at ladies in the jail through the vents. Through the vents. Let y'all hear that. And his name, for you guys who don't know, his name is Gene Borello. He's a former mob enforcer who spent time in that unit. Right? Diddy was moved to a low security dorm in the Metropolitan Detention Center. And his antennas didn't go up to why they did that. You got this type of case coming up, and you're in a low security dorm, and you think that it's cool to talk? And you could literally lay down, and the females are right below you, and you could just yell at them, and they yell back, and basically, like, you could kind of see them, and they could see you a little bit, but you have to watch out for the guards, obviously. But you can talk with them and, you know, show each other some things sometimes, which I never did any of that.
Of course not, Gene. I'm actually trying to figure it out. Like, you lie down on the floor. Is it like a grate? Is there a grate on the floor? Are there cracks or holes in the floor down to the floor below? No. Or what is it you're looking through?
No. So it's the gates, basically. There's holes in the gates. You can see through them. That's your yard, basically. You have no sun. You have basically just these gates, and basically the girls are right there below you, and you could look at each other, basically, like through the gates. Hold on one second, y'all. Hey, Ro. Hey, Ro. Do you know him personally? Do you know him personally? I'm just asking you a question, Ro. Ro Garrido. Do you know him personally? The man you're speaking of, do you personally know him? Right? I'm going to tell you why. I know some ladies that tell me that they virgins, but they not. They not. Right? I know. Right? Again. I told y'all, man. People cease to amaze me, man. People cease to amaze me, man. You have high intel. I ain't asked you that. I asked you, do you know him personally? If you don't know him personally and you're not with him on a day-to-day basis, sir, you don't know anything and your word is useless. Period. Your word is useless. Period. Your word is useless. And you can speak to them, obviously.
And you can speak to them. So do and the girls know that they're, like, can the girls see the men as well? Because can the women see the men and the men see the girls at the same time?
Yeah. Yes.
So are they like some business going on there between them?
I mean, yeah, they have relationships. I think it's ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, they're actually like dating each other. It's just really funny. But, you know, I was a short timer and I was there for 8 months. I was on a probation violation, so I wasn't really like doing that. But we'd have to look out for them because we're in the room with the door shut and they gotta scream a little bit to talk to each other. So we gotta let them know, hey, the guard's walking, get up. You know what I mean? So it's like a whole system they have set up.
Do the guards know about this?
I mean, if they catch you, they'll tell you, get up, get over there. We know what you're doing. Get out of the room. You know.
Do you get into trouble for it? Like, what would happen? What would happen if the lookout maybe didn't get to the guy in time and he was caught having his conversation or his business with his lady friend?
It depends because you could fish things as well through there. So, like notes and things like that. So, if they catch you fishing, you're gonna get a ticket. But if not, they'll just tell you to get up. And if you get the wrong cop, like a high rank, they might give you a ticket or a shot or something like that. But usually, they just tell you to get out the room.
So you can actually send kites, those little prison notes, through to the ladies below?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
Can they get notes up to you? Is it just as easy for them to get a note up to you through the grate?
You can make a lot of gadgets in prison. I've seen it all. Yes.
This is like so crazy. Okay,
yeah,
so the allegations against Diddy is that he's surrounded himself at these freak-off parties with some very, very beautiful women and men and lots of fancy things. And I'm imagining it's not quite the same in this setup.
No, definitely not. I mean, definitely not his type. I don't see him getting involved in that.
So, would all of the female inmates be involved in that, or just some of them?
Yeah, a lot of them do. Yeah, a lot of them are serving time down there. Waiting to go to jail for somewhat years, and yeah, they do that. They try to get the men to take care of them, send them commissary money, things like that.
How do they? So, can they actually see their faces and develop a real relationship, or are you sort of looking through a grate and wondering who is that I'm talking to?
Yeah, exactly. But they try to send pictures through the mail. So if you hook up, if you meet this girl there, they'll try to get your information and have their family send pictures. You know what I mean, to you. So now you'll see what she really looks like. Yeah.
I don't even know. That sounds like crazy. I can't even imagine. How do they even know who it is they want to send the picture to?
Yeah,
there must be quite a vast.
Yeah, it's a whole operation, but you definitely have full-blown relationships in there. Yes.
Crazy. And so the other thing that we've been hearing is that he's in the same unit as Sam Bankman-Fried. What are you hearing about that? Do you keep up with anybody? Do you know what the situation is in that 4 North?
I was with Sam Bankman as well. I got in trouble for Sam. A guy was picking on him, and I actually went to the hole for Sam Bankman. A guy was trying to borrow him for money, and I actually beat the guy up for him. Yeah, and I went to the box for that for 90 days. Yeah.
Wow. So what was the guy trying to do to Sam, and why?
He was trying to get $1,000 out of him, and I kept on telling Sam, this is a safe place. This is an environment where it's not like that. This guy was just trying to intimidate him a little bit and make him oh, this is a dangerous place. It's not a dangerous place. 4 North is a picnic. There's nothing going on there. You can walk around with your sandals on. You have no worries. No one's getting stabbed or jumped or cut. That's on the other side. You're in a safe place. And they were trying to make it like it's not safe. Yes.
Sam may have known nothing about this world. Diddy sings about it, celebrates it. His art is almost about this world. I almost feel like Diddy knows a heck of a lot more than Sam. Do you think anybody's going to try and shake Diddy down or make a name coming after Diddy?
If he's not in 4 North, they don't care about who Diddy is. R. Kelly was in there, and he was getting beat up in the regular side. So they don't really care about who you are. They go by your crime. And according to the real population of prison, he has crime on women. So that's not accepted anywhere. So he would have a problem anywhere he goes, besides for 4 North, because they don't like the rape cases and the allegations against him. They're not really going to be okay with that in population, or he'll have to pay his way, for protection.
Well, and y'all let me know what y'all feel about that. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll be back during the trial to let y'all know what happens during the hearing today. I'll holler. Hey man, holler back.